There we go. Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. I'm with a fantastic artist, the one and only Aphi Tenza. For those of you who don't know, you've been dropping some really amazing music. You've had What It Do come out, Odious Ways, No Job, Guap as well. So you've just been releasing a lot of music, which is awesome to see. And then you're also in a rap trio, so you're
Yeah.
doing it all. You're doing it on like the solo front. You're doing it on a trio front. I've
Yeah.
always wondered because like when you do the two in terms of being a solo artist and then also being a group artist, how do you balance both? Because you've got the interests of the group, but then you've also got your own name that you're trying to build up.
Mhm.
You've got projects that you want to build up. So how are you finding the balance of the two?
Well, the thing is, it's like it works, because when I went into it, I kind of was just like, guys, let's just get along first of all. Like, as long as we like are in a basis where we all genuinely care about each other as people and also as like artists and respect each other as artists and kind of get each other's craft, that's when we can just kind of come together, like, and then just let it flow naturally, and then it's like, okay, we're doing this. We're something we all feel like is our baby, but also we are different artists. Like, for example, like the one girl in the group, she just started tattooing. We're all different, like, beings, but the thing is, we all come together when it comes to music. So it's, I guess when it's like my solo music, that's like genuinely just like stuff that I write when I'm alone in my bedroom, or like, like kind of just like writing poetry. And it's so personal that it's like it's hard to do with someone else. So it's like when I'm pitching a song that's kind of just like being about like a baddie, or just like, about like my girls, I'll just kind of like have them, see what they could do on it, and then they kill it, obviously, and then that's the group's baby, that's the song. And then I have more of a my own edge, I guess. And then when I go into Bebi Monsuta, I kind of conform and then become a Bebi Monsuta member, you know what I'm saying? And it's like hard, but it's doable. I kind of like it that way. I really do. Because they also really support me as a solo artist, and they love my music as a solo artist. So like having that relationship where someone you are also a fan of, because I like their stuff, kind of say to you that, you're doing good, and then you'll send them a song and they'll be like, whoa, it's like really good. And then it's encouraging. We kind of like help each other out.
Well, that's really good because I mean, there are so many hip hop groups
Yeah.
that break up because each
Yeah.
member is like doing their own thing and then they can never get on tour. They can never get an album together because they're always working on their individual projects.
Individual.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm always like, it's
Mm.
it's really challenging at some point to me just having to balance the two. But it sounds like you've got like a great balance in the sense of
We
one
got a system.
party's
Far, yeah.
yeah.
But like in the future, I really do hope that I can be. I always want to be involved, and but especially since we're kind of in the same, I guess, circle. They live in New York too. Like we're in the same environment, so it's not really hard to work together and grow together. Like at the end of the day, it's just like we're kind of helping each other grow as artists, also, like, on our own. So also just like when they have their own solo ventures, they could, have me help them out and kind of give them advice on my journey, and then they could give me advice on theirs. So yeah. And also Bebi Monsuta is kind of more like it's more like a collective. At this point, it's more of a collective of girls, more so than a band like a trio, but yeah, right now it's more solo artists in a group together. So that's kind of the system we got going on right now.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's a long-term thing? Like whether you create music or not, but do you feel like the camaraderie is there and you all will always support each other throughout your
Mm,
careers?
I think so, because also the music that we make together, like I like it's just like such a step in my career too. Like something I'll never forget. Like when I released Julia Fox with them or when we worked on this together. That's like part of my journey and my growth too. So I don't think it's something that I'll ever like forget or like or just, I'm always gonna appreciate that. And just like making music with them is like we make good music together. So like I'm always gonna want to tap back into that even in the future. So I do think that it like it'll last like a long time. It's just like I do have my like career that I'm also pursuing. It's a very unique plan I have for myself in my mind, but they totally fit into that plan. So I really like Julia Fox is like that song is my baby. Like I remember what I was going through the time I wrote that and like just like even writing that with them, the recording, like it was just like a fun process like that kind of helped us bond together. And even in the future when people like are like, hey, aren't you on Julia Fox, like people are gonna know that song still, and it's gonna just be like just like a baby, that we all share. We all babysit sometimes.
Well, you said you've got a plan. What's the plan?
What is the plan? My plan is to continue making music, just to just like develop my craft really and just keep like speaking. I don't plan on like stopping speaking, My plan is to just like keep putting music out. Um and I've got to a point where I really am just excited to see where I go and what I come up with in the future. So I'm just excited for future me. But the plan is to just like keep making music and grinding and just loving what I love, like just loving what I make, and meeting up with people, making, featuring, just like connecting musically. That's just like who I am, I guess. And the plan is to just continue and keep releasing. I want to start doing shows eventually.
Hmm.
I wanna I actually signed like fingers crossed, but I signed up to perform at a festival here in South Africa too called Rocking the Daisies, like things like that, like going playing at festivals, playing at like even like little events, like, and I just also a big thing of mine is I wanna develop myself in my own country. Like South Africa on my Spotify like is like number like 20 on my top like listeners, which is like that's so sad because I'm like, this is where I'm from. So that's another goal of mine. Like I want my country to just like be proud of me and just like, you know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not in the top in Australia either. I fluctuate a little bit. I like pop in and out in
Yeah.
Australia, but like I'm in the top 10 in Albania right now in music like random countries.
Germany loves me too, really, Berlin specifically.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost better to do well overseas first
Yeah,
because it's like you almost get the
true.
recognition. You don't get the hometown hero reception.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think like when you're from a place, they only listen to you because you're from that place. And it's like they're
yeah,
obliged to, as opposed to you go out, you make
yeah.
something of yourself, and
Mm.
then they're like, oh shit, I've been sleeping
Wait,
on that.
yeah, and it's like, wait, she's from where I am? And then they're like, yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, that's right. I guess it is better that way. I do want it that way actually. But I just like I want to get to a point where like people are like, do you listen to Aphi Tenza? And then it's like, wait, she's from South Africa? It's like, wait, like, you know, yeah,
It's a good dream to have.
yeah.
Now
Soon,
you just got to
hopefully.
make it happen. Now's the hard part of like, all right, you got the plan, you got the dream, but now you got to make it happen.
Yeah, like I put the action, like get to work, which is like why I just like I've been taking every like chance, that I've been getting. Like I've been getting, I've been getting beats sent to me and stuff. Like I'll just like I've been like working like musically this year like is a very big year for me. Especially with like how well What It Do did, like how it went. Like that song did so well that I was like kind of like I wasn't even gonna release that song, which is like I wasn't gonna release it. I didn't know like if it was stupid, but I didn't know if it was what when people wanted to hear, you know. And
Why?
also it was like
Like, what was it? What was it about it that made you doubt it?
honestly, it's very personal, I think. I just like I felt like people would be like, we don't care. I don't know, like or like I don't know. And also it's not very like it's not hype. It's not generic what like you hear like that people are listening to on TikTok or these days or it's just like the way I even started making music is I started writing poetry. I used to like put poetry, like write it out and just have it and just having something to read again tomorrow or like in a few like in the next hour and be like, wait, I wrote that. Like that's just like kind of what kind of turned me into this, I guess. And then I just like turned my poetry into music. And then I started on SoundCloud, just putting music out on SoundCloud as artists do. And then, yeah, just like developing my craft, just like realizing that the more I practice, the better I get at it. And yeah, it's just like, it's just very sentimental to me. So putting that out there was like, it was like I don't know. I didn't know if it was for like what people wanted to hear because I made it because it's what I wanted to make. But my best friend was like, "This is amazing," and then also like it was like I liked this, like it was good, right? But I just put it out, but I didn't really expect anything out of it, and then like it did really well, and then people were loving it, and then now I'm like, wait, I'm just not giving myself enough credit. Like I shouldn't like sleep on myself like that. And now I'm actually excited because I'm more driven to like I'm like, okay, like if then I'm like, wait till you hear the next thing. But yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting because the hype songs only get you so far. Like,
Mm,
they have they go viral. They go
yeah.
like they're hot, but they're
Mm,
hot and then they disappear and you never hear about
yeah.
them again. But
They're
what
like
you
trend.
want, yeah, they're
Mm,
trends. Like,
yeah.
that's why you don't, and that's why everyone makes them because that's the trend. But like, you can't, as you said, you cannot pick one from the other. They sound exactly the same. It's all the same
Exactly.
content, it's all the same shit. So you can replace them easily. But I think
Yeah.
what you did well in What It Do was like, it's difficult to replace someone who's genuinely themselves. And
Mm,
as much as you think people don't care about your journey, it will be surprising the amount of people that understand what you're going through, or it makes them feel something about what they're going through. So
I feel.
the
Mm,
best artists, I think, that any of us have, our favorite artists are like ones where they inspire something within us.
mhm.
And I think we forget about that. I think we forget we're
Yeah.
like, oh, I love this person because they made me feel a certain way. But then when I
Yeah.
make music, I'm like, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Even though what I love is all the artists telling me how they feel and all the shit that they're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually very true. Yeah, I guess we forget that realness is just what it's about, which is why I'm doing it. And I just wouldn't be doing it if it was just for, I don't know, like clout. I don't know. Because I'm already like embarrassed. Not that I'm embarrassed. I'm like, it's like, how you just said, like, you're embarrassed to put it out. But I'm not embarrassed to put it out because it's my art, this is my form of expression. But at the same time, you're gonna be critical of yourself, like you're gonna be your worst critic. And also my thing is you don't wanna think you're better than you actually are, you know? But I guess like you should just not care about that though.
Yeah. I mean, you say that you're not embarrassed, but the self-doubt, I can see it on your face. You're like, you're going back. You're like, I can see it. You're like going, I should say that I'm not embarrassed, but you also said that you're like, what if no one gives a shit? That's the self-talk of like a little bit of like, I'm worried, like my ego's a little bit worried, and I'm worried
Mm,
about what people will say. So like
yeah.
I 100% get it because when I first started this, I was like, who the fuck am I, number one? And why would
Yeah.
anyone listen to me talk? Like, why? And it's
Yeah.
the same. It's just
Yeah.
like at some point, you just
Mm.
have to do it for yourself, as you said, and people will be on the journey with you or they won't. And that's the end of
And
that.
also, I started off on social media. Like, I was like, I started off on like TikTok. Like, that's where I gained my first like audience, like big group of people like seeing what I'm doing. And with that, I'm not speaking, it's just like my makeup and my face and my style. So I think I was so like already set to the system of I don't really have to talk much, to the point where when I did talk, I was like, but do people want to hear what I'm saying or just see what I'm doing, So I was also torn between those two things because it's like, it's gonna be a transition of people like, oh, Uppy also makes music. It's like I was already known for something else, which was like just surface level. So when I was talking like real stuff, that's why I was kind of like, but do you want to hear though? And it's just, I guess that certain part of me built some insecurity that I shouldn't just like that I, don't speak less, do more. Like, I don't know, but I just like, I don't know, it's like day by day I'm trying to like just be confident and just like speaking and being wearing it on my sleeve, like, and just being proud of it, just like,
Well, the good news
but
is
I
you got the answer. You
mean,
got the
yeah,
people like, yeah, I do want to know.
yeah, okay, thank you.
By the way, I've been meaning to ask you because your South African accent is barely there. Like I can pick it up on certain words that you say. Like it fluctuates. Obviously, me being Australian, I'm used to hearing voices that are not Aussie, just because I've
Yeah,
interviewed so many people. But you've got it flows into the American, and then every odd word is South African again. Is that
people
purposeful?
say that to me all the time, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've always kind of spoken in a way where people are like, you speak like different. But then also when I moved to New York, I'm not gonna lie, I am the type of person that where I am gonna adapt. Like I went to Italy. I was an exchange student in Italy for a while. My English even started sounding like a bit like that. And then when I moved to New York, all my friends are American. I moved there in 2019. Like it's 2023. It's honestly just a back and forth of me going to New York, back to South Africa, back and forth. And now I'm just this person who's just kind of fused into just like both. But it also does depend on who I'm like when I talk to my mom, it definitely like goes back more to that Zulu kind of South African accent. And then if
Because
I'm
I just
talking
heard
to
it
my
then. You were like, it depends, and definitely, and I
definitely
like definitely. When I talk to my mom, I can say I think I've got a pretty good South African accent that I can replicate. But
do
so
you
when
meet a
I
lot of South
hear it, huh?
do you meet a lot of South African people?
Yeah, there are quite a few South Africans in Melbourne. So I'm like, how you? But mine's like a super white South African
Mm,
accent. That's what it
yeah,
is.
I know a lot of people who actually moved to Australia after high school. Like a lot of people move there.
But they all
And
keep their accents.
yeah, they do. They very much do.
Yeah.
Because also it's not that like I don't want to say it's not that far off from the Australian accent. It's just like there's a difference in the twang, there's a difference in obviously the cultural language of it, but I think the tone of the accent is very similar.
Yeah. See, it's weird. I can't do New Zealand at all. And people think New
Really?
Zealand and South African are close, but I think it's because I can only do South African. I can't really switch back to New Zealand. I've never understood that, but I think you're right. There is very similar tonality and similar sounds, or it's just like extensions that are made in the South
I
African
see.
accent.
I would think New Zealand and Australia are similar.
They're almost too similar that the slight differences I just haven't been
And I
able to figure out. Whereas South African is far enough for me to have to practice something.
see what you mean. Yeah. America is just its own thing, honestly.
Yeah, it
And all
depends
you
where you
know,
are.
yeah, it does for sure. And people will be like, so in the beginning with my accent, like people be like, "What? What are you saying? What are you saying?" To the point where I actually had to start saying some things in a way that they will understand. So that's also a part of why I talk like this for real.
Was there a particular word that kind of,
Oh yeah, they like I don't know, something like, for example, like aunt, an aunt.
oh yeah, aunt.
Like my aunt. They're like, what? My aunt, my aunt. You just gotta be like, eh. It's so like you just really gotta dumb yourself down a bit.
Do you know what it is for Australians? Water.
Water.
Yeah, because they're like water, and you're like,
Yeah, they're like
and it's
water.
yeah, they're like, what's water? And you're like,
But
oh, it's water.
they're the only ones that say it like that though. And then they project like that water onto everyone else. But like South Africa says water. The UK, like Europe, water.
Yeah, yeah. I have people I know that are from Denver, Denver, Colorado, and they're like, say Denver again, but say it your way. And I'm like, Denver. They're like, no, Denver, Denver.
They
That's how they think we say it.
Denver. Yeah, they're like Denver.
Yeah.
Every
But
like really, yeah, I've been there for way too long. 19, 20, 200. Been there for almost like 4 years. 5 years now.
because what
Yeah.
made you move?
Why?
Yeah.
I like to travel a lot. Like I like to travel. I don't know. Like I like to I think I've always loved like also just like South Africa is such a small town. Like and then in high school I got the chance to kind of just like experience going overseas and then I just kind of fell in love with it. Like I was even an exchange student, like I was saying in Italy, and I love seeing people's interactions to me. I like to see how people around the world are. I also like to I just like connecting with people and just like seeing. And I don't know, I just like people are so nice. People are just lovely. So I just like to go and connect with different people. And also I it's like I don't know. It's like I like to travel because it's like collecting like infinity stones from like different places and then kind of just like making it sum you up as a person. And then you're just like this like worldly person. I love the concept of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm actually heading to New York in October for the first time.
Really? I think I'll
Yeah.
be there. I think I'll be there then.
There you go. You can show me the sites because one of
I
my
will.
friends he moved over to New York and he's living there now with his girlfriend, and so there's like four of us boys. Well, because we traveled
Yeah.
to Thailand last year and we were just like, "You're moving to New York. When are we ever going to travel again? Like together?" And it was like
Yeah.
all the stars just lined up, and so we're all going to be in New
Like we
York
gotta
for
go
the
to New
same.
York.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. We're already like we got to go to Six Flags, bless you. Um, so
Coney Island.
yeah, well, I don't know to be honest. We just want to eat delicious food,
Yeah.
which is yeah. On my TikTok algorithm is already just all about which places you can go to in New York.
That's one thing I'll tell you. The food is very good. Expensive, but very good. Like, um, especially if you go to Six Flags, you'll find like the most random like combination of foods, you know. But then
Yeah,
also I'm not I don't have a sweet tooth is my thing. And when I moved to America, like people really love sweet things there. Like, and I'm just like a very savory person. So like I miss like sometimes I do miss like South African food. Like, the like hot tea, like warm meal, but I'm surviving. Like I'm not when I first moved there, I gained a lot of weight because I was just like I was just like eating fast food a lot. But I'm just gonna have to learn how to cook more is my thing. It's what I should do actually.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you on I'm not a huge sweets person either. I'm savory all the way. Like I would rather order a bunch of entrees, uh, and then the mains, and then skip dessert if I have to.
Me too, definitely.
But
Like I
yeah,
don't
so
even eat like
sorry,
my
what did you say?
birthday cake.
Oh,
Like when I
birthday
get a
cake.
eat it.
I mean, you got to
Like I'll
have
get
a
one
little.
on birthday for other people to eat, but I
So, do you miss like South African food when you're overseas?
yeah, a lot. I actually really do. It's funny. It's like when you're here, you miss American food because you miss like the good fast food, and then when you're there, you miss like home. I don't know. I guess it's the home cooked meal. Like they don't have a Nando's. They don't have like I don't know. Even their KFC is different. It's not as good. Like I miss like good savory food. Like they just miss it a little bit, just like a little bit off. But I definitely miss like a nice like home cooked meal, especially like here in South Africa, the food culture is so diverse. So like my like taste palette is like very like picky, I think, to like certain flavors. And the flavors there are just like they're right.
So interesting, like because the portion size must also be insanely different.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like the fast food, it's crazy. Like when I even came here, like the regular here is a medium there, I realized. Like the largest you can get at McDonald's here is the medium in America.
Yeah, and they wonder why they're fat, and they wonder
Yeah, they
why the whole world is like, y'all are all fat, and it's
literally.
because whenever anyone goes there, they're like, how does a human consume this food in one sitting?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like even my boyfriend will like sit through like a whole like the other day he was like, I need to watch what I eat now because he will like the routine is to just like not order one like like meal. It's like I'll get the burger, the chips, the apple pie, the they love like yeah, he loves apple pie, the large Coke. It's just like an order. There's an order to eating to them. And my thing is like eat until you're full and then be done. Like Americans love their food a little bit too much. But you know what I do love? The Mediterranean food there. Like, especially in New York, they have like really good like lamb like gyros and stuff like that. And like the street food is very good.
Mm.
The fast food, no, but the street food like is really good. And the deli food is also really good.
I cannot wait to hit up like a traditional New York deli and just get the cold cuts. Yeah, I'm already like salivating thinking about it.
It's so good. Like after a night out, like just walk into a deli and just get like oh, me and my very first roommate when I moved there, she introduced me to like cheesesteaks and they're like it's like they put like the meat, the mince, and then they like cook it with cheese and it's
Yeah,
so
and the
good.
capsicum and the onion. See, I've never had a cheesesteak. I definitely know what a cheesesteak is, but I've never had a cheesesteak. I can't tell if it's too much, like it's too rich and all the cheese would be kind of gross, or it's like
Yeah,
so gross that it's weirdly good.
really good. I think it's funny, it's like when I had it, it wasn't like overwhelming. it was like the cheese was there to keep the meat together and just to keep it like make it good enough, but the meat wasn't so, it's just like all fit. I don't know. And then they put the sauce, and then like I like it with like tomatoes. I like tomato, like it's just good. I don't know. It was a hit for me.
You know, you got to stop it because like I may never come back. I may just like, guys, the food here is way too good. I cannot go home. And honestly, we don't have delis that are open on a
Yeah,
night
I
out.
was, what do we have in Australia? Like, what do you eat? Like,
We have, so there is like no such thing as Australian food.
yeah,
Like we don't really have a cuisine. Like restaurants have like modern kind of food, but it's
yeah.
really hard to. We've just got a mix of all the different cultures that have come here. So like really strong Asian food with amazing Asian food. Italian food here is really good. And we've got like a really nice fine dining restaurant experience. So you can literally have it all. And we've got, you know, we do have Nando's, unlike the US. So yeah, you'll definitely get lots of Nando's. There's plenty down here,
Okay,
but
well, I think I'm coming to Australia for sure then.
that was the selling ticket. It wasn't like it's not because I have fans. It's not because I want to see the country. It's just because if they've got Nando's, I'm there.
I mean, like, forget the spiders that like I hear, but forget the animals. Wait, but is it cold? I mean, is it hot all throughout?
No, it's cold right now in Melbourne, so we're like down south, so it's like 13 degrees today, like and it's really cold in the mornings, like 4 degrees, I would say, like frosty as hell. But then summer is like hot, like very hot.
Ooh. So it's not very far off to South Africa. It's just I don't think we get that cold in the winter.
Yeah, not as
Like
cold.
crazy.
Yeah, but like, but yeah, South Africans tend to like Australia. That's why your friends move here. They never come back. They just
Yeah,
stay in
they
Australia.
stayed after high school. They literally are still there. I've never thought about like I don't know, I've never thought about visiting there, but I think, it would be such a good like tourist experience.
Yeah, it is awesome. And because it's such a big country, there are like so many different places to go to. And I mean, the spiders, everyone is scared of the spiders, but you don't really see that many spiders. You get the
Yeah,
odd surprise one.
I don't even think I care about that much. It was just like it's just America, it's just a propaganda against Australia. Like they say the
Bless you.
spiders, thank you. They say the spiders, the snakes, and stuff like that. And then
Which
I'm just imagining,
we have. Like,
yeah,
it's not a lie. We have them all. Like, we
yeah,
have a lot of poisonous snakes, but it's not like I'm jumping over snakes to go to a
yeah,
cafe.
okay,
You know what I mean? It's not like I have to fight a shark every time I go for a swim and I have to
okay,
deal with crocodiles. Although in Darwin, you can't swim in the water in
yeah,
Cairns
okay.
because there are saltwater crocodiles. So you actually can't swim there. But like for most people in their everyday lives, you're not like it's not a trial by fire and you have to survive the landscape of the earth. Like I don't like hop on a kangaroo's back to get to work. I don't do those things.
In America when they're like, so what's Africa like? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I got a lion. Like, I'm like, yeah, no elephants, very great. But in Florida, in America, they're crazy, like with their alligators. They got like crazy iguanas there. You do jump over iguanas there. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard people from Florida are a special case of yeah.
Yeah, they are.
There's a fun game where you're supposed to Google your birthday and say Florida
Florida,
man.
man.
Yeah.
I've seen that, and there's one for every day of the year. Like that's how crazy they are.
Yeah, and I love that it's a Florida man.
Yeah, it's always,
Yeah,
and it's like the
always.
same. I always think of it like it's the same Florida man just causing chaos like around Florida. So funny. But people go there a lot to retire too. Like old people, they'll just go to like Florida and retire. I think it's just like, and then you get the young people. Like I hear a lot about, I'm not very good at geography in America, but a lot of young people in Atlanta, I don't know. I think it is near Florida. I'm not sure. We're both
You're
not
asking
American.
the wrong person.
But like I heard of people being like, Atlanta is kind of like the New York, kind of like that's where people are going now. I would never go anywhere in America outside of New York personally, unless it was like, for my job, but
Why? Why wouldn't you go? Because I've heard that because a lot of rappers are coming from Atlanta. It's like the new mecca of like
oh
where
yeah,
hip hop is growing.
yeah. Mm. I just New York's like I'm a New York girl, like, and also I've been to places around America. Like I've been to LA, overhyped as hell, hated it. Um, I've been to, well, you know what? It's funny. I'm judging it off the, not the physical environment. It's like lovely restaurants, it's got great restaurants. They're limited though because they really appeal to like keto diets and like girls who eat
Right.
salad. But it's nice to like they got a nice beach. It's nice to drive around there. I just did not like the people. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like going out there. It was just very sold too much. They sold it way too much. But New York, I had a lovely since I first moved there. I have like always loved New York. Also, just the independence that New York kind of just forces you to get. Like it's taught me a lot. Like it actually helped me grow, like a growth that I don't think I would have got in LA, besides just being more closed off and just like being like people are fake. But in New York, you'll meet like real people, and also because New York is a hotspot for people who are genuinely coming from all over the world. Like they'll just like they're like genuine. There's like a realness to New York is, and it's I don't know. I can see myself living in like even like Tennessee. Like, why would I like? I don't know. Places there are a bit. They're too like. It's the United States. They're too clicky. Like Florida is Florida. New York is New York. LA is LA. There's no place like in like. Whereas like I want a country where it's just like when you go to South Africa, you're in Cape Town, you're in Johannesburg, you're still gonna get the vibe. If you're in like New York and then you go to like Ohio, you're gonna feel like you're in a different freaking place completely, which is what confuses me about America. Like it's so divided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, you said, when you go to South Africa, I've never been to South Africa. I'd love to go. I think it would
Shit.
be awesome. But I've always imagined that I could live in Texas, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, Austin, Texas. It's like, I'm not saying like super redneck, but I feel like it's a cool place. It's like the balance of like,
I think I might be going there for a wedding actually later this year. But um yeah, I don't know what to expect from Texas. My best friend was shooting a film there and she says it was quite nice. And it's actually becoming more and more like kind of modernized there. Like
yeah,
kind of people like hip hop are very much from Texas recent like now,
and
you know.
lowest state income tax. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
that too. The houses there, I saw that they're like very affordable.
yeah. Whereas New
Yeah.
York, not so much. Although, you said Italy. I've always imagined that I could retire in Italy. Like,
I've always mm,
that's like my vibe. I was there recently again, and like I was in Rome with my brother, and we were just like, yeah, beautiful. And you just because he'd never been to Rome, so I'd been there before, and so it was cool seeing him react to Rome for the first time. Like I got to re-experience it for the first time, and like the first time you see the Colosseum, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like
yeah, I
you've
was
seen it in
here.
pictures, but I just couldn't believe it exists. Like you just walk past it.
Yeah. Thinking about the history of it too when you walk past it, like what happened here? Like I don't know. Italy is just like, crazy. Even when I made the wish in the fountain,
Oh yeah,
the
Trevi
trap.
Fountain.
Yes, like experiencing that. It was just great. And Rome, oh, the food, like amazing. I love Rome. I just love Italy so much.
And
Yeah.
I tell you what, I all I ate was pasta and bread, and I didn't get fat at all. And I was like,
And you literally drink wine, pasta, and bread. Like that is that was it. Literally, my exchange student, we would like get back from like school just pasta already, like 1 p.m. like pasta later that night. But like, and just the best Parmesan cheese I
Mm.
have ever. And she gave me this whole wheel of Parmesan cheese to take home, and I was like, yes. I ate that thing for like a year straight.
Uh, unbelievable. But I love the lifestyle. Like you go up, you go for a walk, you get an espresso, you then just like have like a very chill morning. You go for a walk. No one exercises there other than like
Yeah, they
walking and
have
riding
parties there.
bikes. They don't have
Yeah.
gyms. Like I was like,
Yeah.
we've walked all over Rome. I cannot find a gym.
I didn't really see anyone fat. Like
Yeah.
I didn't see people who were like really overweight there. And everyone was just oddly, I don't know, they're attractive and like I walk past and you just see just like this girl like in like a serious like I love how they get so serious in their Italian conversation. Like they really are expressive. And just like it's so nice to go to a place, especially like here in South Africa being Zulu also and just also being bilingual, going to a place as someone who is not from there, and then also just adapting to just the mannerisms, the language, the way the language mixes with the mannerisms, and also the way they like. I like the way they get angry or like expressive. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, how
They
they're like
they
just
they really enunciate. Like they
yeah, they
really
do.
open their mouths real loud. When they scream at you, like you know they're yelling.
That's why I liked it a lot. It's very like relative to like Zulu. Like my culture is also very like expressive and very like the words like you know how like Italians very direct with their like the swearing too. Like they'll like just like very direct with their language. Whereas also like here like my like language Zulu is very like direct. Like for example, like hello is sawubona, and in English, if you translate that, it means I see you. Like it
Mm.
just makes literal sense, like actual like the words. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like
Yeah, it doesn't have as much of like English is weird because you can say the same thing 100 different ways and they all mean slightly different things. Like our
literally
vocabulary is
very
stupidly massive.
yeah, true.
But yeah, I miss Italy. I really do. I was just like, oh, I
How
want
long
to go back.
did
So I was there for about 4 days, and then I went to Croatia for 5 days, and then I went to Hungary for another 4 days.
I've always wanted to go to Croatia and Spain.
Yeah, I've never been to Spain, but I've heard really good things. Honestly, Europe is the best. Like,
Europe, yeah. I think I want to settle down in Europe eventually. Like that's always been a dream of mine. Like America was like a step always, like get my money and then like settle down like oh, like even in Italy, like somewhere in like even Barcelona, like buy like literally afford like an apartment when I own it, just go there, like and just wake up and go to the market or like like something like just so like I
yeah,
want to live like
yeah. That's why I want to retire in Italy because it's like I want to be like, 50, 60, like settled, I have kids and stuff, and like me and my wife, we go and we take like cooking classes and we like, you do almost like your the things you wanted to do when you were young, but now you've got money and now you can do it. But like there's something about so you've done the hustle, you've done it
mm,
all, and now you're ready to like just live again and remember what it was like to keep it simple and like, yeah, go to a class, they teach how to make traditional pasta. You go, you buy your ingredients at a market. Like I love the idea of that ending up
yeah.
my life.
That's that is literally my goal to just get to a point where I can just live life. I still have yet to live, you know. Well, live again because where you didn't really have responsibilities and then you did and then now I'm ready to just like, you know, take life by what it gives me and not just like the like, oh my God, I gotta go to work. Oh my God, I gotta do this, gotta do that. And it's like the problems, but that's just the system of capitalism for you too. It just makes you worry.
Yeah. I often wonder. So I have this weird fantasy. of like, what if I just quit it all? Like,
Yeah.
what if I just left? I
Yeah.
just found someone, fell in love, and then we ran away and we lived a very simple life. But the love was like enough. What if I just
Mm,
didn't give a shit about this anymore? What if I forgot about all of this and just really focused on the simplicity in beauty in life? And I wonder
mm.
if I would be happy.
That's actually interesting. I think you would, but you're human. I think you would have your doubts, your not doubts, but just your what ifs, if you drop everything like that. And I think also holding it up to be for someone might, you must be careful because you don't want to resent them if it doesn't go in the way that yeah, if it's not
You know,
easy,
it's so
you know?
funny because you're like reading my mind. These are the conversations, like all those things of like, would I
Yeah.
regret it? And would I grow
Mm,
resentful because I gave up my dreams? And that would be my fear. And like, because I'm a motivated person and I don't need anyone to tell me, hey, you got to go do this. I can do it
mm.
myself. And so to give it up and I haven't reached my potential, then I'm like, hmm,
You're gonna,
unfulfilled because I haven't found out if I could do it or not.
yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be that way. That's how it would be for me for sure. I would, I don't know. I feel like I'm the type of person that almost needs to see things through, because I overthink also sometimes. So I know that those what ifs are gonna come up in my mind. But genuinely, if you're in love, I think they won't be. I think your love's gonna be enough to kind of be like, but it was worth it. But if it isn't, if it ends up not being, you're gonna get resentful.
Yeah, you see. Yeah. You just said everything that makes me like love the fantasy, but not act on the fantasy. Because realistically, I haven't found the person that I would want to live that
Yeah.
fantasy with, but I can feel myself being like, let me have it
Mm,
all, which
yeah.
is, you know, greedy as hell. Let me have it all. Let me achieve my goals, achieve my dreams, and then I'll do it in Italy and do the
That's how
chill
I
life.
am. Literally. I'm like, even when people like, especially with what I want to do, it's like so easy to tell me that it's like unrealistic. And it's so easy to tell me that like there's so many people doing it too, you know? But I genuinely live so in my head that there's nothing you can tell me that will stop me from just doing it. Because what am I gonna do? Like say, okay, let me just focus on what's easy. But honestly, it's like, what if you do make it? Not even what if, it's like, what's so not different about you to those people who did make it? Like, you know, if you have a real passion and a story, and I feel like it, like, in your heart, if you're just really driven and you would die for this shit, then why would you not do it?
When you visualize it, can you visualize the success?
Yes, I can visualize the success, but I have things to work on in myself because it makes me nervous right now.
Oh, that's
I can
interesting.
visualize it so much that I'm a bit nervous.
What about it makes you nervous?
Um, I think the interaction, like with, I'm ex like I'm excited to like do what I love, and I'm excited to meet new people, and I'm excited to just like go into this venture that I've never been in before. But I'm nervous because I know what it comes with. And also like just like I'm very like me as a person, I'm the type of person who doesn't really understand people who come into your life with any ulterior motives. And also I'm sensitive to people who do, because I've been in situations where like, I don't know, people are just not really, they're disappointing. And I think I'm just the type of person to just put so much into, also because it's something I'm so passionate about, that I want to do it right by not letting people come in and mess me up, and like not letting people come in and just make me forget why I started doing this in the first place, you know, because it's like I want to stay passionate about it. I want to keep it a God like given gift. Like I want to keep it a gift and not like something I take advantage of to like, you know. So I'm scared. I'm scared of like the way I handle it. But I trust myself. I think that if I keep good people in my life, and I think if I keep like, you know, keep stay grounded. But, you know, moving to, I'm not even from America. So if I'm doing it in America, I'm kind of like on my own in a way, you know. But I think I'm mostly scared of like that. Like I'm just like where my friend like my friends are in South Africa, my mom's in South Africa, like my siblings. I'm mostly just scared of like just like it's such a big, it's just huge. And I'm just a girl, you know?
Yeah, but I guess, but at the same time, like I don't know. I heard a quote and it was like, what motivated someone to write a TV show, and it was like because there are so many shit TV shows that get made that how could I not write a TV show?
That all the time. I say I make the music that I need to be hearing. Like even like a song that I recently wrote, I was like one of the bars was um abolishing bad music in my phone. And if I'm gonna do it, then I'm taking it home. Like I'm doing it because this is what the world needs. Like not to be like conceited or anything, but it's like I'm doing it from an artistic standpoint, like where it's like, guys, listen to this. Like I know, like I'm proud of my art. Like I love it. It's like it makes me feel good. Like that's why I'm doing it. So like I want to keep it that way is the thing. And even like look at like artists like worst example because she's like going through it right now, but like Doja Cat, like she started like on SoundCloud. She started as just like a girl who was so passionate about music. And then just the industry kind of just like it seems like the industry kind of like traumatizes you in a way, like or like kind of just like messes your brain up. So I think that's also a fear of mine. And also just like also because I've grown up, like I mean, I've already kind of got like an audience on TikTok and I've had some insecurities before where people are like, you know, I don't interact as much as I used to because I realize that not everyone needs your attention all the time, especially on something like the internet or like, you know, but just like seeing comments like, you know, some people will really try to get at you like on purpose, intentionally. And you see that and you're like, it doesn't matter, whatever. But it's like, but why would you say that? And I know it's just haters and insecurity in people, but when you base it off something you're passionate about, like your words and your life story, I think I still have yet to just like strengthen myself for what's to come. Like I to just tell myself criticism doesn't matter and just to just stand in my own shoes and my own feet and just be like, you know, not tormented by the industry. That's what I'm scared of actually. Just the influence. America's
I
crazy.
think that's a reasonable fear.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely agree that that's like something to consider because I agree with you. Like, it would, I mean, I wish everyone would be able to be like, no, negativity doesn't matter. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me, but it
Mm.
does. That's, there is a reason why every artist feels the need to get up on a platform and share. It's because
Mm.
we're all, and you are all weirdly insecure. Like
Mm.
I know
True.
that about myself. There is some validation that I am trying to seek externally. That's why I put, because if I was happy and stable within myself, I wouldn't have to do this and I wouldn't have to seek attention. And I've been like
Oh,
this ever since I was a kid. Like I just
yeah.
need, like I used to do improv. I need to make people laugh. Whatever it is, I need that external validation.
Me
So
too.
I wish I could say that it doesn't matter, but it does. The negativity does affect all of us, but switching off is the habit. But I mean, I think the industry ruins so many people because you're right that you start an artist and you start
Mm.
raw and pure And very rarely do you have artists who are like, I just want to make a bag and that's why I'm going to make. Usually it's the other way around. If the money happens to come because of art you make, but then when you make money, you have people invested in you and you turn from an artist into a product. And I think
Yeah.
that's what fucks them all up, that
Yep.
you're
And
now marketable.
yeah. But I think I'm doing pretty well right now because I've had practice too with kind of branding myself in that sense. Like I've had practice through TikTok and social media and being like a personality on that platform. Um, but on a world stage, it's totally different. Um, but I think I genuinely think that this is my calling. I'm very like convinced. So what can I do? I just gotta do it.
Yeah. I mean, you could just stay independent.
I could, true.
I
I
feel like
actually
they're the
really
ones who don't get as
influence.
twisted. They don't get the same notoriety. They don't get the same fame and the success. But I feel like they're the ones who have most of the longevity. The ones who like
Yeah,
do their own thing and make their own labels and just don't
true.
let people influence them that they don't want to. Like, I know my biggest fear would be to be stuck with the label, stuck with loans. They give
Yeah.
you all the cash up front and you start spending it, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you owe
See,
them more money.
I've been getting talks about like, like kind of just like if I get a distribution deal and all of that, which is also something else that scares me because I hear a lot of stories, like that. And like I said, I'm just a girl. I need more knowledge. I need help with like knowing what I'm getting myself into because also, like I said, I do have these insecurities where I don't want to be a product, but at the same time, if I'm signing something, it's kind of like you are signing to be a product. But also because I have practiced being a product, I can do it. I know how to appeal to audiences, you know. But the thing is, it's like some distribution labels will be like, now you got to make this type of music. You got to dress like this. You got to push this agenda. You got to, and I don't want to be that way. I want them to be like, Uppy, you're doing great. Keep going, you know?
Yeah, I'm not
And
really sure the difference though between a distribution deal. Like, I wish I could be like, don't worry, up, you've come to the right place. You've come to the guy who knows everything about the industry. But the only thing that I have heard is get a lawyer.
yeah, facts for
That is
real.
it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to sign something you don't know what it is. So you're better off just getting a lawyer and knowing what you're signing. But I think ultimately, if you have the right representation in that sense of like, hey, I have a lawyer at least to look over the paperwork, they can break it down for me, then that's a good start. And then the rest you've got to figure out. I mean, I think distribution deals are part and part of it. Like, I think distribution makes sense. They help you distribute, but I think it's more when you become signed to the label and then it's all the music is label released. Because I interviewed John Connor and he was on Dr. Dre for 5 years and they never released an album. And it was like, yeah. And to be honest, if you said Dr. Dre wanted to sign me, the odds of me saying no to Dr. Dre are like 0%. But it just highlighted to me the importance of, hey, you can still be in an amazing label, but you may not release any music.
That is crazy. Yeah, I gotta make sure that that does not happen to me. And the thing is, it's like my thing is to, which is also something I struggle with, like in the group. I try my best to like, but it's like why I also have to make my own music and also kind of separate myself from my solo artist to it's because I have a problem with feeling like my music and my art is being nitpicked or like you're taking what you like and then leaving what you don't like. And with like, like you're gonna be in a record label, you'll make a song that you feel really passionate about and be like, oh yeah, we like this, just take this out and add something about like shaking ass. And I'm like, it's like I don't want that. Like that's another thing. But yeah, I really just gotta really think about just the progression of my career, because obviously I wanna reach as many people as possible. I wanna blow up. I wanna inspire, like as corny as it sounds, but I wanna like inspire people, and I wanna just like talk my shit. But you know, I should look after myself, and I should make sure that I don't get taken advantage of in the process of trying to please the masses.
You know, that is the best way to think about it, is make sure you don't get taken advantage of, because hey, signing a deal might be the right choice. It genuinely
Yeah.
might be. It might also be the wrong choice. So you never really know. And so I've never been one of the subscribers of like, hey, if you sign a deal, you're fucked. It's just
Yeah.
if you sign the wrong deal, you're fucked.
And you
So
true.
that's all it is, but that's life. That's like,
Yeah,
if you buy the wrong
yeah,
house, you're fucked. If you marry the wrong person, you're fucked. If you date the wrong person, you're fucked. So it all is part of it, but doing your due diligence. And I did a law degree at uni, and I know enough to know that I am not qualified at all to understand any of it, and that I need
yeah.
proper representation. So, like, that is the only thing that you learned in law school. It was like, do you know what you call a lawyer who represents themselves? Fucked.
A
Like,
fool.
yeah, that was it. That was like, even lawyers have to get lawyers. So yeah, it's too complicated, and they put things in there that you don't really understand.
Yeah,
Yeah. But even stuff that's like, you know, words like in
yeah,
perpetuity means forever. So like, yeah. So you read it and you're like, yep, 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 yeah. And this is how artists get screwed, is because the rights to the music that they make at some labels, if they sign a contract that says the label gets it forever, well, then you don't own your music.
that's why they say you sell your soul to it, because you're signing, and it's your soul because it's your work, like it's your being, your essence, and they sign and it belongs to them now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many stories about that stuff.
Yeah, it is. But it's the classic deal, which is people who are well versed in the industry, they offer people who don't know anything about it. And those people, they see the cash, they see the green. Imagine you've never seen $100,000 in your life ever. Your parents have never made that type of money. You're thinking about, I can set my family up for life if I sign this deal. And then they do, because they see the money, but they
It's
don't really understand
and
what
then
it
your
means.
song and then your song makes like millions, and you just
And you get
100,000.
100K.
Wow.
And then you got to pay most of it back, because they loaned you out money for you to survive anyway, because you still have bills to pay, rent, and you still got to maintain an image of what an artist is.
And then that's what they do. They spend it all on cars, and like off the bat, like you get that lump sum, new money. Like you gotta be smart. They're not smart.
No.
Yeah.
And then on the
You
label
have,
side, I get it, because you're an investment. They're
yeah,
like, I'm
exactly.
putting cash, I'm giving you money up front,
Yeah.
and I need return on my money. So of
Mm.
course I'm gonna want it back. That's the deal.
First,
So
it's crazy. They did that to well, not an art, but it was Dave Chappelle. I remember he apparently like he made something like, I don't know, like people he works for, like NBC or something like that. He made them like 100 million or something, like a lot of millions, but they only gave him like I don't know, they only gave him like one or something, or even less than that. And the thing is, it's like they said that you're gonna keep uh like a certain portion of the money you make, but then he made too much, and then they said no, you made too much, so they like kind of changed the deal, and then he kept that from the deal they had. Think of what they thought he was gonna make, but all the money that he made just went to them. He lost all that money, millions. Like he was like he wasn't putting anything out for like years. Like ugh, that shit is so sad.
Yeah. And then when the artist passes away, they don't own the estate. So then the family gets no money, just goes
And then
back
you
into the
still have
label.
release, so they keep releasing it after you're dead to make more money off of it after you're dead.
I
It's
mean, that
scary.
happens all the time in hip hop. How many,
Yeah,
like, just, I mean, Biggie, he's had like 5 albums come
yeah,
out since he died. And it's
yeah.
like, now with AI, I am genuinely concerned that they could just make an infinite amount of Biggie projects that, like, as a purist, that would be my worst nightmare. Like, I love him and I would want to have more music, but knowing that it's not real, it just, I cannot be a fan of it.
It's just like also knowing that someone is profiting it off of like this guy who's like not with us anymore. And then also just like, yeah, the lack of like authenticity to it. Like we're listening to a robot right now. And we're pretending it's Biggie. It's just it's scary. It is scary. Oh, can I
Yeah.
quickly just grab the charger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Last thing I want is the thing to just die in the middle of it.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. I think I've done it all on the show. I've
Yeah.
had phones die. I've had people eating while we're doing it. I've had people literally driving, so it cuts in and out. I've had people walk into restaurants. I've had people at stores. I've had a lady at a nail salon. I've literally done all of it.
That's funny. The driving is crazy.
Yeah, but it's like they're going somewhere. And I've
Yeah.
had one that like they're in a car and then it gets darker, and so they become like this silhouette of a person. I cannot
Oh
even see
yeah.
them anymore.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Well, I can hear the voice. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's all part and parcel of it. Like, I knew what I would be getting into interviewing artists. Artists are not known for being notoriously organized.
Yeah. They're not. That's funny, actually. That is actually true.
Yeah, y'all are interesting, but organized, not at all. I had one artist who was like, "Man, I don't keep appointments. Just message me day of, and I'll let you know if I can do it." And I was like, "This is extremely difficult for me to organize."
I'm definitely ready for help for sure. Like it's insane. Even like just like with like having social media as a job, because that's how I get some of my like my money. And it's just having the job to do. And then it's like, I don't know. Like I am not like it's easier as an artist because I work when I'm not even working. Like I'll like work on music while I'm like sleeping in my head, and then you just go to this like set a date, studio, it works with the way I am. But just having that like I definitely would not be good at having that organized set of like yeah, I'm guilty of that for sure.
I'm
But
only
I
good at
yeah,
it because I come from corporate.
really.
Yeah, that's like where my like yeah, I'm super like I've got calendars. I know how to like that's why, when we were talking, I'm like, I need to book a time and a place, and I need to know what I'm doing so I can organize what the structure of it is.
And I
Um,
appreciate it because like I'm also the type of person that needs someone like that in my life because like we can't all be disorganized now. Like we need at least one person, like especially just like with like understand with like stuff that goes on like in life with like people's lives. And like I also appreciate that like I don't know if we're on the same time, but I appreciate that you
we're
were
not.
like see like I appreciate that you were willing to like even like kind of like look at my time. Like I appreciate people who just like are willing to help the situation out, you know.
Well, to be fair, I did ask you to come on the show. So it would be weird for me to like, you know what? You got to do it on my time. I'm asking you to come on my show, but you do it on my time. That's a weird attitude to me. So like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I don't know. I've always been like, my goal, as I said to you before the show, was like, I want you to have a good enough experience that you would want to do this again. And that comes from how we schedule it to the interview. So it's like the whole process. Because if you're
Yeah.
like, fuck, this is impossible to schedule, no matter how good a time we had on this, you would be like, I don't want to go through that scheduling again. That's a fucking nightmare.
I feel you. Yo, you do it pretty well. I'm definitely gonna come back though. Like
Thanks.
that's I
It's recorded, so you can't take it back now.
okay. Hold it against me. You could definitely hold it against me.
Yeah, that's what we call a verbal contract. So you're signing yourself away.
I will for sure.
Well, next time
And
it's a trick to come to the US. I mean, to Australia. But then again, I might see you when I'm in the States. So who knows?
no, yeah, exactly. I'm actually planning on going back in September, like late September. So I
But you
should be
miss
there.
it? You miss going back?
I'm liking being at home right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I left home like 5 years ago and I love like the people here. And now that I'm here, right now, I genuinely feel like I've been making music. I've been, going out, meeting, making new friends. Like I like that I was able to develop my character and just like myself and just be like now that I'm at a point where I'm just like I like want to be known. Like I want to go
Hmm.
out and just like I like being at home to do it because it feels good. And also it's nice to be at home and just like have people like talk about my experience. Like, so how's New York? And I'm like, yeah, it's good, like just like I like it.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I
loved
like travel.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
loved ones are around.
yeah, literally. That's the hard thing about overseas. Like, I don't know, it's like adapting to a whole different like just people. Like people think I'm I don't want to say strange, but they do think I'm different there. And I don't know if it's I just am because people say that about me here too. But the thing is, it's like in America specifically, being from South Africa is something they just like aren't used to that they notice. And I'm like, yeah, I'm from South Africa. Being here, it's nice because there's a certain level of like understanding and inside jokes, like just like cultural things that I miss so much. And I'm just happy to just like be here for this time to just like tap into that.
What do you mean by weird? Like, what do people say? Like, how so? Because I don't know. I don't think I can pick up on anything strange. Like, I'm not going to be after this going, oh my God, she was like the weirdest person I ever spoke to in my life. Um, but yeah, what do they say? Because you said they say it in New York and they say it back home. So I'm interested of like, is it different weird or is it just like,
Different weird.
yeah,
Yeah. Different weird in the sense that I guess they've never met anyone like me. Like I've heard that quite a few times. But I also like relating to like I love like going out and meeting girls like who just like, oh, it's the best thing where like you'll meet like girls from somewhere else, like in a different like just genuinely nice girls and then like just talking about your stuff, they're talking about you, and then you have the same interests, but you're like, it's nice to interact like that way, but like it's definitely different. Like girls like love me in general, like wherever I go, like I like just like oh my God, like and I just love girls also, like the interaction when I go out. And the thing is, it's like, but they're definitely like, you're different. You're different, weird. And it's like, that used to offend me in high school. One time this girl said I was weird in high school. And I just kind of went home and I really thought about it. But I just like know now that am, and it's fine, and it's not bad, weird. It's good. It's like I wouldn't rather be anything else. So like I've just kind of grown into it's like I'm weird, and it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I've always said being normal is boring.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, embrace the weirdness because I think that's the best part of all of us. I definitely get told, like, hey, man, I really don't understand you. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Exactly. Too.
it. People, do you know what it is? They struggle to tell with my tonality. I have a very like even tone. And so when I talk and I talk shit, I say it in the same tone that I speak
Right?
facts. And it's very confusing to a
So
lot
they
of
think you're
people.
like sarcastic.
They're just like, I can't tell if you're being honest or you're talking shit. I'm like, I'm always talking shit. Like, just if you're not sure, the odds are I'm talking shit. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's funny. No, I
I,
also find my stress that I'm kidding, by the way.
yeah. I think you should say that less and just go, you react however you want to react. That's kind of the fun, I think. I love seeing people's reactions. Drives my
True.
family crazy because I like to see like getting reactions from people that I am close to. That's like the most fun to me.
That's funny. Me too. I'm a big sister at home. I'm like the big sister. So like I don't know. Always feel like I you know what? I actually also am the different. Not I'm different from my siblings in the sense that I'm the most creative one. Like I'm the one who like my sister is also doing law, and then my brother was doing economics, and then like I'm the eldest kind of creative. So like I'm like, I don't know, not to toot my own horn, but I am like the fun one, like out of out of everyone. So I try to make it fun. Like I don't know. I love having young. I'm like a big sister. I'm a what's it? I'm nurturing in a
Mm.
way, and yeah. That's
So,
why I also just connecting with people and like just like friends, meeting new people. Like I love that.
so you're the eldest of three?
I am. I have a big brother, but I'm the eldest daughter, and then there's five of us.
Damn, big family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm the oldest sibling of three brothers.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah.
Oh.
So, all boys. Yeah. I don't know how mum survived, to be honest, but she did. And it's funny because I was always the most creative as well as like just everything that I did. I always loved performing and I loved doing all that kind of stuff. And my brother recently, my youngest brother, he found his own version of artistry. He found painting and like so he's really into his painting now. So it's like really cool to see that he's found his own art because I'm just like to me, my art is verbal. Like I love words, I love written, I love all that kind of stuff. Hence why we're talking. And his is like definitely more on page abstract art. So he's like really getting into it.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't have, well, my sister's a dancer. That's the most artist. She dances right now. But she kind of sad, but she kind of gave up on her dancing dreams. Now she's studying law. I'm like, get back on it. Like,
Get
get
back
your
on it.
degree. Yeah.
No,
It's the parent I
take
like
it
to
from
like,
me.
yeah. I'll
Yeah.
tell her. I'll literally tell her. I was like, I will.
Yeah. No, the more I did my law degree, the more I hated it. So I was
Yeah.
like, huge pass. I never
I
wanted to
actually tried
practice.
that. I tried law for a while. I tried, not for a while. I tried it for a semester, like two semesters. And then,
It's not as
no.
fun as you think it'll be. I honestly thought all I would be doing is like getting up and arguing with people and I was like, oh, I'm built. I can do that. I can do like the public speaking side of it. And then it was like writing essays and I was just like, and reading boring
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, this sucks.
I could not do any more of it. At some point, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Because also it kept getting harder and harder, like, and less fun. Like, I was just like, I can't do this for the rest of my life.
Well, speaking of doing it for the rest of your life, I hope that you get to do your music and get to create and get to share for the rest of your life, because it's exciting talking to you. You like genuinely have a passion for it, and I'm excited to see where you go on your journey and what else you create and what else you find within yourself. But I only have one more question for you, and it's the only question that I plan on this show, but it's probably the hardest one. If you had to recommend an album that everybody should listen to at least once, just to get an appreciation of, can be any genre, cannot be your own music, what would it be?
Black Swan by Smino. I have
Damn
a
that.
few, but
Hey,
that one.
that came so quickly.
Black Swan by Smino. That is something that is like art. Like, that to me is like history mixed with like culture, mixed with art, mixed with like, it's just like, it's like watching, it's like you go to the museum, you see a painting, but it's an album. It's like a piece of art.
I love that. That's the best analogy, I think. And for anyone else, please make sure you check out Aphi Tenza, fantastic artist, doing it all group, doing it solo. Yeah, I genuinely am looking forward to seeing what else you can do and what else you come up with. And hey, it feels like you're just starting the journey of like really diving into your creativity, and the reception's been great so far. So, hey, no time to stop now.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm
Aphi,
definitely
awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to shout out? Anything you wanted to plug?
anything I wanted to plug. My music, just, listen to it, feel it, see how you resonate to it. And yeah, just, I also have a SoundCloud if you really want to dive that deep into when I started making music. Um, but a lot of my SoundCloud music I've actually been planning to taking to Spotify, re-recording and putting it on Spotify. But yeah, I just want to be heard lyrically.
Well, I think that's a good idea. I think people love to see the journey and the progression that you go on. And hey, I'm sure there are some great tracks in there.
There are. Not to be conceited, but there are.
It's so weird. You're so funny because you're like, I don't want to be conceited, but I know I create great music, but I'm also not insecure, but I also you're like dancing this fine line of like not really knowing how much you can say. That's okay. There are people on my show who are like, I am the greatest of all time.
Oh
Like,
my God.
oh yeah, yeah. Welcome to hip hop. That's the genre it is. So
Yeah,
yeah, a little bit of self promotion and confidence is all part of the game.
yeah, true. It's like no shame in like a little plug.
Hell no. I mean, let's be honest. You're not here because you love me so much, and you're like, you know what I mean? I mean, you might. Who knows? But also, like, we're here to help promote your music and what you're doing. So, yeah, we should definitely promote it.